What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Cash It. I'm Howard Bender. With me, of course, Adam Ronis. Come to you from the land of Fantasy Alarm and the Spotlight Sports Group. Thanks so much for tuning in. What's going on, Ronis? Thanksgiving now in our rearview mirrors. We're already neck deep in Week 13, NFL Week 13 stuff. How's it been, man? Dude, my GST team took a huge kick to the groin this week. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, my GST team is not good. ETN left the game early. Mooney out for the year. Just have nothing at running back. Tight end has been a disaster. So I'm going to need like a 200-point week in one of the next 2 weeks to have a shot to get in on points. So it's unlikely that's going to happen. Then I have another league where, dude, this is what I hate about fantasy. And I've talked about this for years. And it's got to change, man. Some leagues do it well. You know, the FSGA we've talked about, they do top 3 records, then next 3 teams with the most points. I like that. But there's still too many leagues that go solely by record. So I'll give you an example of a league that I'm in, okay? So the first place team is 10-2. They have 1,619 points. I have 1,557. So not that far behind, right? About, 60. It's not a big gap, right? Over the long haul of the season. They have 1,433 points against. I have 1,635.
Oh, yeah.
202. They're 10-2. You want to guess what my record is?
You're like 6-6.
5-7.
5-7. Yeah.
So, and I went, and last week I lost, having the 3rd most points in the league because I went against Josh Jacobs. So now I'm in a position where I have to win the next 2 weeks and I need help to get in. When my team, I believe, has the 3rd most points in the league, the 4th. So, but not that far. Not that far from the first place team. So it's just one of those years. My home league's kind of similar, but that now I'm back to 13-13. We do double headers, so the next 2 weeks are critical. But yeah, it's just kind of frustrating when you are in these situations where your team's pretty good. And all you got to do is look at the points against column, and it's just so frustrating, man.
Ridiculously frustrating. So I'm in a similar boat. The reason I asked you when you said, guess what my record is? And I said 6-6, it's because that's exactly where I'm at right now. In the Sirius XM Superflex League. I am 6-6. I am the points leader, sitting in 7th place right now. And if you look at the points against, I have 1682.2. The guy behind me, it looks like Colton and the Wolfman at 1604. So most points scored against me. Locked in over at the as the points leader and dangerously in danger of missing the playoffs.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I don't know why that league hasn't shifted, but it's something that I've talked about for years, man. And you see the GST, what I do. We do top record as the 1 seed, then out of the next 11 teams, the team with the most points. So you could be 4-10. And you have a lot of points, you're going to be the 2 seed. Then next 3 and 4, next teams with the best record. And then out of the remaining teams, the teams with the most points. So I see in your league, there's a team that's way under 500 that would be in the playoffs today. So
I think there were 2 teams actually there are 2 teams that have like real crappy records that have a lot of points.
So they're going to be rewarded. It doesn't look, as of today, one of them's getting in. It's possible both get in. But the point is that we all know this, man. I just don't get the pushback. Sometimes I put this out on Twitter and I've had a couple people like, oh, I disagree. Your record is what it is. It's like, dude, this is not real fucking football, bro. We're not Bill Belichick finding a fucking defense. We're at the mercy of a random fucking schedule. And some people, there are some leagues where if it's a 14-week regular season, you're playing like 2 or 3 teams twice. Those are random. You could get lucky and have the 2 worst teams and you're playing against them. Now you got W's, and then the other team could be playing against, top teams that set their lineup and all that shit. There's teams that are not going to set their lineup over these last couple of weeks, no matter how much we talk about. So now that's going to decide the shift in balance of a playoff spot. That's not right. You could look, and I've been on both sides of it. Like, I'm 9-3 in an RT Sports Championship League, and as I'm probably not making the playoffs because I don't have enough points. They do. Top record is the 1 seed. Then out of the remaining 11 teams, most points is the 2. Then the next record is the 3, and then most points is the 4. There's 2 teams that are 10-2. I'm 9-3. Both those 10-2 teams have more points, and there's another team with more points. So unless I put up 200 this week, I'm probably not getting in. I'm not going to be upset. My team didn't have enough points. So I got fortunate on the schedule and got some W's, and I don't have enough points. I'm going to live with it. That's part of it. So, yeah, because people might listen and be like, oh, you're just bitching because it's screw you. No, if I'm on the other side and I'm benefiting from it, I don't deserve to get in. I'm not going to complain. I just think it needs to be fair. The other argument against is like, well, yeah, you have a lot of points, but you had like 1 or 2 big weeks where you put up 200. No, man. I mean, so that doesn't count now. So we're going to X out the big Josh Jacobs game or Joe Mixon game. Like, it doesn't count. I mean, come on. So I just want more fairness in fantasy. And as voices in the industry, I've always preached it for years to change it, to have points be rewarded in some way. Because you can't have the team with the most points not make the playoffs. I don't understand how anyone feel that is justified. Yeah, he didn't deserve to get in. How, man? Like, you clearly had some bad luck along the way. And the immediate thing to do, I always say, what's the points against? And it's always that. You just have like a bad luck schedule where you're facing a high scoring team every week. So whether you want to do double headers, victory points, there has to be some way that we amend the playoff structure that it doesn't go top 6 records. That's it. You got to do something different. Again, I commend the FSGA, top 3 records, next 3 with most points, like that. The GST format that we put together, high stakes leagues format, but you can't just have top 6 records because almost every league, or if you play in 10, you're going to be a victim of bad luck and on the other side, good luck. Like my friend in my home league, he knows he's like 8th or 9th in the league in points, but he's in 3rd place right now. So he knows he's got to win these next couple of weeks because he's going to lose any points tiebreakers. Like, I have more points than him, but he's ahead. If the season ended today, he's in the playoffs. So I'm not. So we go through this all the time. And I just don't understand how there's not more outrage. If you played fantasy for a long time, or you play in multiple leagues, you have had to be on the bad side of this bad luck. How do you not want to change? I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't get it either. I went on a bit of a rant. I think it was last week on the Fantasy Alarm Show, just talking about points and how it does matter. And, you and I have had this conversation over and over again. We talk about the randomness of the schedule, right? And, all you're doing, you're not plotting out. The schedule isn't plotted out in any way, shape, or form. It's random how that schedule gets, you click a button and it randomizes your league schedule. So there's really no rhyme or reason for it. And that obviously adds to that luck factor. And I've said to people, because I had people come back at me and they're like, no, that's what it is. You win your games and it's head to head. And that's what it is. Cause I think there was one dude who was complaining to me about being a points leader and his league, it's record. Then the next tiebreaker from that is head-to-head record. And then the next tiebreaker from that is division record. And I'm like, how the fuck does your division record, how is that even relevant? Like, it's not even remotely relevant when you're playing everybody in your league. You're not playing your division mates twice. You're playing everybody else in the league. So if you do double up and there happens to be a double up in your division, then so be it. But and people fight against that so much. And I don't really, I genuinely don't understand it. It's a weird thing. And, listen, the leagues that I'm in where points matter, I'm definitely more appreciative of that. I think that it's something because, again, we're not dismissing head-to-head record.
Right. I think that's where people are losing side of, because they're like, oh, well, then head to head is meaningless. No, we're including record as part of it.
Right. That's what I do with my, what I do with my home league for years. 6 people make the playoffs. We had 2 divisions. And so, yes, your 2 division winners, they got that was your treat for being a division winner, was that you get the bye week. But it's 6 teams that make the playoffs, and it's the 2 division winners. Then it's the next 3 by record. And then the last playoff spot goes to the team that has the highest point total of the remaining non-playoff teams. And so I said, I'm like, we're taking into account record. Not a problem. We're using points as a tiebreaker, but for that last playoff spot, it should just be points in case somebody does end up getting screwed like that. And I don't understand the fight against it, but I mean, it is what it is. There's nothing we can do. We're not apparently rational arguments that we've given over the years, Adam, not enough to change some people's minds.
I don't get it. I don't know if it's just people are reluctant to change, but I feel like if you kind of explain it and break it down and put yourself in the shoes of a person in that situation, I would hope you would be like, yeah, you know what? I see it. You're right. It's just not fair. I just don't get it. Because like I said, if I'm on the other side where I'm eliminated, I can live with it. Because like I've mentioned too, that my home league, we do double headers. And I was like, okay, double headers is probably going to offset a lot of the luck factor. So every year it was like, all right, we're doing double headers. So if you run into a high scoring team multiple weeks, then you probably if you had a good week, you get a win in your other game. So every year, like the legit teams got in. And then one year, the team with the second most points in the league didn't get in. And I was like, oh, shit. I even told him, I was like, damn, man, I don't know if I said I'm sorry, but I'm like, yeah, you got screwed. He's like, oh, no big deal, blah, blah. I'm like, nah, it is. So I changed it. Now it's top 5 records. And then out of the remaining 7, the team with the most points get in. The year after I changed it, the team with the most points, if I didn't change it, would not have gotten in. So he got in because I amended the rule. So even double headers and victory points doesn't completely eliminate it, which goes to show you the randomness and the luck factor. And luck is a part of fantasy. Luck is a part of life. But to me, as commissioners or people in the industry, our goal is to eliminate as much luck as possible. It's never going to be 100% skill. We know there's going to be luck involved, especially when you get to the playoffs, right? We've all been there. Number 1 seed, most points in the league, have a bad week in the semis, or you go up against a team that explodes. That's part of the game in the fantasy playoffs. But over the course of an entire season, you want to eliminate that luck factor as much as possible, which is why I think points need to be taken into account for at least 1, if not 2 playoff spots.
Dude, the FSGA league, it's kind of funny that you talked about, top 3 on record and then the next 3 on points. It's really funny. We have 3 teams that are 9-3.
And 1 doesn't belong there.
Yeah, well, yeah, I know that. 3 teams at 9-3, 1 team at 8-4, 1 team at 7-5, and then 4 teams at 6-6.
Yeah, if it ends today, you're 8-4, so you're in. I am like 20, 21, 22 points out of a playoff spot, but my team is just limping in. I lost so many guys. I mean, Breece Hall, Allen Robinson, Irv Smith. There's probably another.
Cry me a river, dude.
Dude, it's a 14-team league.
I'm still starting friggin' Tyler Algier.
I'm gonna have to do. Well, I might have to do that this week.
Landry.
I mean, I have Najee Harris. I don't know if he's gonna play. Damian Pierce, who's done nothing.
How do you have more carries than yards in over a 2-game span?
The Texans' offense is just pathetic. So,
well, would you start Damian Pierce this week against Cleveland, knowing how bad they are against the run?
Yeah, I think you kind of have to. And this is a 14 team. I have no choice, bro. Right now, if Harris doesn't go, I'm in trouble because I have Pierce, Foreman on a bye, Keontae Ingram on a bye, and Alexander Madison. So I don't have anyone else right now. So I'm kind of screwed because obviously this is a must-win week for me to get in, and I need a lot of points. So I'm kind of in trouble here. It just has not gone well. And then, Pittman's been hurt by poor quarterback play. Tight end, Dulcich is good, but that offense is terrible. So Hey, I'm kind of in trouble here. I mean, I hope.
I just found out Lamar Jackson has a quad injury now, also, and so now I'm gonna end up getting screwed out of that.
I'm hoping he plays, but yeah, quad's not good for a running quarterback in an offense that sucks right now, too. I mean, I know because you have Lamar. He's been terrible, man. I have him in 2 leagues, and it's the problem with a guy like Lamar is you're afraid to sit him because you know that he can still get it done on the ground and the floor is still high. The ceiling has been massively low, but like, who are you benching Lamar for right now? You know, actually this week, if you wanted to say Trevor Lawrence, I couldn't argue with you. It's that close this week, but like when you get down to Brady, Rodgers, you're not playing those guys over Lamar. They just don't have the ceiling.
What about Deshaun Watson?
Maybe. He's tricky for me this week because I get it. It's his former team. So, they'll probably want him to get a touchdown pass or 2. But the Texans are so bad against the run and Cleveland's strength is the run. Like, how do you not run Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, even Watson a little bit? Because if you look, the Titans' numbers are good against the pass, but it's misleading because teams just run on them all the time. That there's no need to pass. So, is there rust?
I definitely think that there's rust, and
there has to be. Yeah,
we're going to obviously break down the games, in more detail. But like one of the things that I was talking about today on the Fantasy Alarm Show was just the, when there's just rank stupidity in the NFL, and you're just like, why does a team do that? Like when we say you ride a couple of players, great players, you drive down the field, and then once you get into the red zone, then all of a sudden you start the cute shit. Like you're going to suddenly fake everybody out with a double reverse end around to your third string tight end. Like we see stupid shit like that. And one of the things I was talking about today was I'm genuinely concerned because I know that while Cleveland has been finally giving Nick Chubb the ball on the regular, like I have that horror show feeling that Stefanski's going to be just a total idiot. And he's going to say, well, we're going to, we want, it's Deshaun against his former team, and we're paying him all of this money, and we need him to throw, and it's about that as opposed to, because I think Cleveland needs to, what are they, 4-7? They need to run the table to even think about getting to the playoffs at 9-7. So their whole we're gonna focus on Deshaun, which would just make me violently ill.
Yeah, I don't know if they can do it drastically. I mean, you got to look at it and go, this team is horrible against the run. We have the best running back, if not one of the best running backs in the NFL. We're going to feed them. You hope they don't get too cute. I guess there's a possibility people fall susceptible to storylines and the human element. So that's the concern this week. But I mean, can you play him over Lamar? If Lamar's not 100%, I guess you can.
I guess you can, yeah, but oh man, why has Lamar got to do this to me?
I don't know, man. I know I have him in 2 leagues, and one of them I definitely need to win this week. So
I have $1 bid left in the FSGA because I was also dealing with losing Javonte Williams and the Kyle Pitts and somebody else in there also, and just guys dropping like flies. And now it's like, man, if Lamar doesn't, because my team has definitely been kept afloat with Lamar, with Kelsey, Josh Jacobs, but you take one of them out of the equation. We've talked about that. You could have, you can get by on 3 guys, good consistent performances, but moving one of those guys out of it. Oh man. Here, look at what's on the waiver wire. Russell Wilson, Ryan Tannehill, Mac Jones, Sam Darnold.
Who's on bye?
Oh yeah. Mike White.
There you go. Don't worry. I'm not picking him up. I actually have 2 quarterbacks because last week I did not want to play Cousins against New England. So I picked up Geno Smith, I think, and they both kind of scored similar. So it kind of didn't really matter, I guess.
Wouldn't that be just the absolute just kick in the ass that I have to use my last bid dollar on Mike White?
And maybe he delivers for you.
Do you think he will?
Yeah, I mean, Minnesota's secondary is bad. He's got weapons. I mean, I know there's questions. We'll get to that game because everyone's going to be like, oh, look at Mike White, and it was the Bears and everything. But you could see, though, at least the first drive, man, early in the game, there was so much confidence, man. Like, it just he lifted that team.
He definitely did lift that team. But yes, Bowden tried to talk it up and whatever. And I was just like, Jim, Mike White is not our future. We know he's not our future. Go look at his game log last year. He looked fucking amazing his first game out. And then what happened? 3 games later, 110 yards and 4 interceptions. So, I mean, let's not, anoint him as the savior of New York football in 2022. Please. I would be devastated if I had to use him this week instead of Lamar Jackson. That would feel like I would, I would have to really do we should do just a 5-minute segment here on the show where I just cry, sob hysterically. You think people would tune in for that?
I think they would. Between that and you potentially dying during the show, we'll go viral somehow.
Oh my God, dude. Don't even tempt me. That would be baby. Oh, baby. Oh, right. You'd fill in for me, wouldn't you?
Fill in for you where?
Everywhere, man. If I kick the bucket, dude.
How can I fill in for you everywhere? I have my own stuff. How am I going to be double?
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. The simulcast. Maybe they'll agree to a simulcast.
Maybe, yeah.
Extenuating circumstances and be like, yeah, we'll simulcast. Ronis and Fensty on that. For those of you who may not know what we're talking about, you got to know what we're talking about. Adam Ronis and Justin Fensterman have the Fantasy Alarm, The Playbook, which is their show on the Better Sports Network. And you guys, if you've never heard of the Better Sports Network, go to, what is it? It's at Better Sports, BETTOR Sports on the old Twitter machine. And you can find the app in, whatever your app store you deal with and download that. And from 5 to 7 p.m., that's Adam and Fancy. It just happens to be on the opposite side of me and Jim at 5 to 7 on Sirius XM. So, apparently we're making you choose. Do you want to listen to Fancy and Ronis? Or you want to listen to Bender and Bowden?
Or you could listen to one on demand.
You could listen to one on demand, 100%. 100%. That would be the Fantasy Alarm Show on Sirius XM. That's on demand. You guys don't have it on demand yet.
They do.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Oh, looky. Where do I get that? Is that just part of the app?
I think it's a sub that's $2.95 a month, I believe.
Oh, I gotta pay more money to listen to you, dude. I have to put up with this shit here on the show all the time. By the way, everybody, cash your tickets if you had 445 as the first F-bomb by Adam Ronis. There's a group of us. We have like a secret DM chat where we talk about how long it takes for you to say the word fuck on the Cash It podcast.
It was 4:45 today?
It was roughly about 4:45.
Okay. Not bad. That's pretty good.
That's actually it's listen, I think I set the over under at 214.
Okay.
And I definitely was taking the under on that. So I lose. Apparently people are definitely more patient. Let's stay with the fantasy football stuff. Anything in particular that's kind of catching your eye as far as what's going on in the in the realm? Any massive injuries, any concerns over, I don't know, man, just some of the shit that's going on. It's crazy, dude. It's crazy. Dealing with Aaron Rodgers' thumb, worrying about Josh Jacobs and his calf, worrying about, man, who else? Oh, Najee Harris. Yeah. Didn't suffer a serious abdominal injury, but we do know we're getting Jalen Warren back this week.
Yeah, I do have Jalen Warren in my home league, but I have Najee Harris in the FSGA. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like Warren's good to go. I'm thinking Najee's not going to play. So Warren would be in a good spot. Maybe they mix in McFarland a little bit or Snell, but I think Warren would get the bulk of the touches. He's probably not available in a lot of leagues. But
would Warren get the touches over Snell, considering how well Snell played last week?
Yeah, but Warren was ahead of him before. And they talked about getting Warren more involved even when Najee was active. So I think it's going to be Warren, would be my guess.
That's a backfield I don't want any fucking part of.
They do play Atlanta this week, though.
Oh, even worse, right? It's a smash matchup. And you got to sit there and wonder which guy's going to get the touches.
Yep. So, I mean, Denver's offense is just pathetic. I mean, I don't even know if you could use anyone anymore outside of Sutton, maybe Murray, but then Mike Boone could be back. I mean, they're just pathetic, bro. I mean, it is really like I can't recall a more disappointing team than the Broncos. They went and they traded and gave up everything for Russell Wilson. Then they paid him $240 million. And they are the worst offense in the NFL and one of the worst offenses we've seen in 20 years. They would not have scored a touchdown last week if it was not for a penalty extending the drive. They would not have scored. I mean, it's just pathetic how bad they are.
I don't understand why Hackett still has his job right now.
I don't either.
You just want him to finish out the year. It's a lost year.
I think they do that sometimes. But yeah, it's a disaster, like across the board. The defense has played well, but it's only a matter of time before, they give up a play and the offense is doing nothing. So Broncos Rams on Christmas is the middle game. Look forward to that.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I'm not, bro. Broncos Rams is the middle game on Christmas. So
I was literally just going to. I swear
the Christmas slate is horrendous, bro.
I swear to God, I was just going to say to you, you know what, Adam? I'd love to see the Broncos take on the Rams, who are giving up on the season. Like, I legit did not know that they were playing on Christmas Day.
Yep. So the Christmas slate is Packers Dolphins at 1, Broncos Rams at 4:30, Bucks Cardinals at 8:20. That is a horrendous Christmas slate. And why would you watch Broncos Rams at 4:30? Like, you could say, well, fantasy semifinal week, who are you playing in that game? I mean, the Rams, forget it. You're not playing anyone. And the Broncos, I mean, are you going to advance far with a Cortland Sutton, Latavius Murray? Probably not. Maybe you have one of those. I mean, I want to say Dulcich, but it's getting to the point you can't play him. He did have a touchdown call back. But again, this offense can't score. So the ceiling is low on all these guys. And it's not going to get better, bro. We've seen a large enough sample here that it's not going to get better. So the good thing is there's some good games on Christmas for the NBA. I know the 5:00 game. I think it's Milwaukee, Boston, which is a phenomenal game. So I'm kind of glad that the way that is set up. I mean, I'll have both on TV, but I'm just like, okay, at least there's a really compelling game to watch in the NBA opposite Rams Broncos. Because again, you really have to be into torture or you bet that game. And I don't know. Okay, you can bet the under if you want. Maybe the Broncos team total. The game team
bet the over on total punts.
There you go. It's Milwaukee Boston at 5:00 in the NBA. That is a phenomenal game. Two best teams in the East. So that's going to be fun. So I'll definitely be paying more attention to that. But yeah, that Christmas slate is horrendous. And Broncos Rams, oh boy.
Yeah, dude, that's like that. You know what? I got to tell you, the NFL needs to stop.
Yeah, but you're good. Okay, to be fair.
No. Here, let me just let me just finish.
All right.
You have Thursday night football. You have Monday night football. Okay? You have Sunday. You own Sunday. And then all of a sudden we start getting closer to Christmas time, you start creeping into Saturday for a couple of games. And now here with Christmas Day falling on a Sunday, the NFL, who moved into Christmas action, was it last year or the year before the first time they did it?
They only do it if it's on a weekend, right? I think they had a Christmas game on a Friday 2 years ago.
Yeah, I feel like so.
It was Saints and someone on a Friday.
Christmas Day belongs to the NBA. Let the NBA just have Christmas Day. I don't want to, not only do I not want to have to, listen, for a variety of reasons here, that Christmas Day slate sucks ass because they're shitty games. Okay. I'm a Jew, dude. I don't celebrate Christmas, but I do spend that day going to the movies, getting Chinese food. That's what my wife and I like to do. We like to. Now I got to sit and I have to not only like watch three of just the shittiest football games in the world throughout the day, but then I also have to endure all the Christmas bullshit and the crap holiday music and people talking about families and carvings and this and that and the other thing and all of that bull. Like I have to get inundated with that shit on Christmas Day when I could be at the fucking movies watching a rom-com with my wife.
Would you feel differently if there were three really good games on?
Would I feel differently? No. I feel the exact same way that the NFL needs to leave Christmas Day alone. I think it's garbage. It's garbage. It's greedy. It's just the NFL is just so fucking greedy that I mean it drives me nuts. I would appreciate if there were three good games. And listen, they can't. They don't know. They thought that Aaron Rodgers and the Packers were going to be, whooping and hollering. They thought that the Rams were going to be, in it to fight, to defend their Super Bowl title. And Russell Wilson was supposed to be a great player, and we were supposed to have a strong Denver team. So I get why those games are on the schedule. It just happens to be that they all suck right now, and that's a total bummer. But again, just leave fucking Christmas Day alone.
I don't think
need
like
it.
That. They think they own everything, and you know that. So
you got
I get
all
what
the
you're
games
saying.
on Saturday. So just let them all play on Saturday. Why do you have to do 3 games on Christmas Day?
No, I agree, but I'm not surprised by it. They even are going to have Saturday games in week 15. I don't know if you know that because it's not on the schedule, but in week 15, they have 5 games with a TBD because 3 of them are moved to Saturday.
Yeah.
And I can tell you the games that are going to be moved already. It'll be Dolphins, Bills, Ravens, Browns, and Giants, Commanders is my guess. So those games will go on Saturday, the 17th. And then in week 16, no, that's already set because it's Christmas Eve. And then week 17, they will be moving. No, it's Sunday, the week 18. They're going to move 2 games to Saturday, January 7th. And then there's no times for Sunday, January 8th because it's the last week. So they have to decide what's going to be the Sunday night game, which 2 are going to Saturday, and then obviously align the times. They'll probably have the early games where they mean nothing, and then the games with playoff implications late.
Dog shit, dude. It's dog shit. What are they doing on New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, week 17? We got
all the games are New Year's Day.
New Year's Day. There's a Thursday, New Year's Day, and then there's okay. All right. Stupid NFL. Let's change. We'll come back to the NFL. We'll do the we'll pick all of our games against the spread and stuff like that. But for right now, the NFL has pissed me off enough that I'm going to switch it up to some NBA right now. Adam, give me something good with the NBA. I know you got your prop article that comes out on PicksWise every Friday. How's your prop betting been going? How's your NBA betting going?
Well, this past week was a bounce back week because I had a rare 0-3 the week before. So this week we bounced back and went 3-0. And I'm giving out picks pretty much every day on the show on the Better Sports Network. It's a weird schedule this week. So Monday was heavy. Tuesday, there was only 3 games. We're recording Wednesday night, huge slate. I think is it 13 games tonight? 1 game on Thursday. I don't know why. I was like, what is going on tomorrow that there's 1 game? But there's 1 game. And then Friday is pretty busy. I think Saturday is kind of light. So it's kind of a weird week. But yeah, I've been pretty good. I mean, some of the prop bets are similar. I mean, Tyrese Halliburton's a guy that's been making me a lot of money, and he's in a revenge spot Wednesday night against the team that traded him.
Are his props low, or he's just smashing it?
His assist prop now is 11.5 assists. And he goes over it almost every night. I play his points and assists. So it's been 28.5, 29.5. It's 31.5 on Wednesday night. I think it was 32.5 on FanDuel, but I'm playing it. But his assists, he just went through a 3-game stretch. It was never been done in the history of the NBA where he had 40 assists and no turnovers. So his assists lately have been 14, 11, 15, 14, 14, 14, 8, 11, 15, 12, 13, 9. He's averaging 12.5 assists in the month of November. And then for his points, he's averaging 18 and a half. He takes like 15, 16 shots a game. He took 22 the other night against the Lakers, and I expect against the Kings, he probably takes 18, 19, 20. So his totals, points and assists the last few games have been 38, 26. He didn't hit that night. I didn't play it that night because they were playing the Clippers, slow-paced game, so I stayed away. That was the one night I didn't, and it was Sunday too. I don't really bet NBA as much on Sunday unless something screams at me because I really don't look that closely. So that one he missed. Then he had 36, 24 because he shot 4 of 15, 32, 36. So he's been off and over that. So this is a great matchup against the Kings, the team that traded him. Both teams don't play much defense, fast pace. So I'm going back to it. So I play it most nights. And yeah, there's a couple times he's missed, but I don't really get upset at it. So we'll have to see if they move it. They moved Gilgeous-Alexander line up. He still hits a lot, but I got hooked the other night. I'm looking at some turnovers too. Jalen Green of the Rockets. His number is 2.5. He's been going, I think he's gone over that 9 of the last 10, and not just going over it by a little. He's getting 5, 6 turnovers a game, and the line is 2.5.
Committing or causing?
Committing. No, committing. So his turnovers the last few games are 5, 4, 6, 0, 6, 5, 3, 5, 4, 3, 5, 3. So in the month of November, he's gone over every game except one. So, I'm going back to that. Again, on Wednesday, it's Justo at minus 150. Kyle Kuzma, his props, he's been good. His PRAs, I mean, he's just rebounds, assists, he's crushing. Jamal Murray starting to heat up for Denver. He's coming off the torn ACL. They were limiting his minutes early. His minutes have gone up, and Michael Porter's been out. So his points line has been sitting around 18 and a half, 19 and a half. So I've been looking at that. So yeah, I mean, there's certain guys where they're still kind of crushing. Pascal Siakam just came back from injury. That's a guy to start to look at because he missed about a month with a groin issue, and he is averaging on the season 24.1 points, 9.5 rebounds, and 7.4 assists. So I didn't play it tonight because I don't know if he's on a minutes restriction. He played 31 minutes in his first game back, but they did pull away with that game because Raptors, Nick Nurse tends to play his starters huge minutes, like 35 to 40 minutes. So that's great for player props. Siakam's rebounds and assists was 13 and a half at plus money. I didn't play it, but he's averaging 9.5 rebounds, 7.4 assists, does a little bit of everything. So kind of looking at that. So yeah, I mean, and there's certain teams that we know. Oh, Anthony Davis for the Lakers has been great lately. That's a guy I've started to look at. He's healthy. He's putting up big numbers. Anthony Simons.
Davis, isn't that dude like 60 years old?
Nah, Davis is 29.
I must be thinking of another Anthony Davis.
He's just been in the league for a while because he came in young, but he came up with the Pelicans and went to the Lakers. But, you always worry about injuries with him, but his line has been about 37.5 points, rebounds lately. And he's had last few games, 25 and 13, 25 and 15, 37 and 21, 30 and 18, 38 and 16. So there's always injury risk with him because I think there's a Twitter account that says, is Anthony Davis hurt tonight or something like that? Because I used to joke, I'm like, yo, this dude must have women in the locker room. And that's why he's always going because someone can't get hurt every night. Like he'd always make a trip to the locker room almost every game. I'm like, this dude must have women in there, man. So there's always risk with him getting hurt, but he's been crushing his prop. Miles Turner, another guy from Indiana. Because he started the year injured. I've been looking at his points, rebounds a lot. So, yeah, and then there's other players that come along due to injuries that like Anthony Simons from Portland. Damian Lillard's been out. He's been crushing it. Lillard looks like he could be back, though, December 4th. So that's something to keep an eye on. But, yeah, I mean, it's fun. Been doing pretty well. I got hooked twice on Monday, man. The absolute worst, man. The hook. Oh, man. Like, so Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, I had over 41.5 points, rebounds, assists. He's sitting at 40, 2-point game. He drives the lane with 2 seconds left. Whistle blows. I'm like, all right, he's going to hit at least one free throw. I cash. They call the charge. So I missed out on the hook.
There's really nothing worse than going down by the hook.
Yeah, but
nothing worse.
There isn't. But at the same time, I told you I've been playing the Gilgeous-Alexander props a lot. The 2 previous games for him, I needed overtime for him to hit his props, and the game went overtime. So, you hope that you don't hope it evens out. You hope you win more in the long run. But, we're easy like, oh, I got burned by the hook. But we also kind of forget where we got a benefit of the doubt where the coach left the starters in a blowout. The game went overtime. So I lost a 7-leg parlay last night.
No. Listen, winning by the hook is savvy, smart betting.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Losing by the hook, that's fucked up, man. That's the world shitting on you. Because, come on, dude.
It's the worst.
Say it like it is.
Nah, it's the worst, man. Because you're sitting there, you're like, if he just hit one more free throw, if he didn't do that, and you're just like going over everything, and it drives you nuts.
Dude, listen, man. There's nothing worse than like sitting there playing that game at the end. Like if you've got action on a game, just like trying to like narrate in your head what you need for what to happen in the game in order for you to do it. Like I've sat there and I'm like, all right, so they can give up the field goal right now, but then it's got to go into overtime. But then they got to win the coin toss, and then they got to win, and they got to score the touchdown. And they got a whole it's like it's so just playing that game at the end is I just let me know right from the start. I love those games where you're like you make the bet and then you're just like you within like the first 10 minutes of the game you're like I'm so locked in on this.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say. Damn, I fucked up. That was a bad bet because I felt that way about Paris Campbell the other night.
Oh, dude, listen, that again, you know what? I'd rather that than sometimes than to just have it like tear my heart out slowly.
Right. You're like, yeah, this was probably a bad bet. Okay, let me just shut it off now. You know what I do? I don't know if this is superstition, but if it's a big NBA slate, I usually have 4, 5, 6 bets in. Mm-hmm. And say I'm following. Like, I think it was the other day, I had the Halliburton bet. And in the first quarter, he had 0 points, 4 assists. And he tends to start slow where he doesn't take a lot of shots and he's setting up his teammates. So I'm like, fuck, let me turn away. And then I was like, in my head, I'm like, get me 10 points at halftime. Because now if you have 10 points, I'm sure he'll get a couple more assists. You get 10.6 assists and the line is 30.5. I'm halfway there. So I turn it away. Check at halftime, he's got like 10.6 assists. I was like, okay. I tend to do that because if I follow it and I'm looking and I see they're doing bad, I start to get depressed. I'm like, you know what? Let me just turn away and come back. I did it with Gilgeous-Alexander the other night. He got off to a slow start. I texted Fensty. I'm like, damn, SGA off to a slow start. I turned away. I came back and he was right there in line to get it. So I kind of, instead of torturing myself and watching the pain of the minutes go by and no points, I'm like, let me just turn away. And a lot of times it works.
It works. Well, I mean,
it does.
I mean,
I'm telling you.
No, I know what you mean.
You know what I'm saying?
I was going to ask you if you're a superstitious guy, but you just told me right there because you said that it works. No, it spares you the aggravation.
Yes, it does. It saves
of
me
following.
Stress. Yeah, it saves me a little stress.
And if you turn back to it and it's working in your favor, it's a nice little, pop.
Yeah, so
but if you turn back to it and it's not, then at least you're like, well, at least I didn't have to just watch that last fucking 10 minutes.
Right, and go through that. So last night I did it because it was a light slate. So FanDuel runs a risk-free same-game parlay on the TNT games. So I said, okay, I'll put it in because if I lose, I get my bet back. So I did a 7-leg parlay. Luka, 25 points or more. Luka, 6 rebounds or more. Luka, 6 assists or more. Curry, 20 points or more. Curry, 4 threes or more. Andrew Wiggins, 15 points or more. And Zubac, 8.5 rebounds or more. The Warriors had 6 points in the first 6 minutes. I was like, these fucking guys, man, they're going to ruin my night in betting. And it's early. So I knew, all right, they'll probably come back. But I was like, all right. I stopped. I watched till I had to leave, and then I went to dinner. And while I was at dinner, I didn't fucking pull out my phone. I'm like, fuck this shit. I'm not going to look. Then I decide to look. I'm like, oh, shit. Luka already cashed. Curry was good. And Andrew Wiggins had no points in the first quarter and 2 at halftime. So I was like, all right, I need Wiggins to get going. So it was like early fourth quarter. Wiggins had 10 points. I'm like, okay, I got life. Motherfucker finished with 10. So I lost it. One leg out of the 7-leg parlay. Wiggins to score 15. The guy averages 18 this year, and he had gone over 15 in 6 straight. And I'm like, really, man? This is the night that you fucking score 10? So, and I should have known, because the most popular bet on DraftKings last night was Andrew Wiggins over 16.5.
Oh, yeah. All right. Then you're done. You're done.
Dude, oh my God, these promos, the boosts that they have are fucking absurd. They hardly ever cash. There was one night, I don't know if I told you this one, they had an NBA promo, 4 players to score 20 points or more. It was Trae Young, LeBron, someone else that was good, in Tatum. Tatum scored 19. The fewest amount of points he had all year to that point was 23. Tatum's averaging 30 a game. He had 19 fucking points that night. How? How did he have fucking 19 points that night? Come on, man. This shit is shady.
Dude, listen, there's definitely some times where you're like, this seems a little fucked up. It seems a little scripted.
Yeah, man.
It's kind of funny, though, because it does sort of seem scripted. There are times where, like, I've looked like a genius in front of people, because I've been like, I'm thinking about what the over-under is on the game and where it is right now. And I'm like, all right, well, if Vegas is right and it's going to get to it, then this is what we're looking at, people. They're going to go down the field. They're going to score that touchdown. They're going to leave too much time on the clock. They're going to come back. They're going to kick the field goal and actually end up covering that spread. And, like you kind of go through it like that. And people are like, wow, how'd you know? Because it's a numbers game.
How about this? Perfect example of what you're saying. Thanksgiving Day, Cowboys, Giants.
Oh my God, dude. I lost a fucking ton on that Daniel Jones garbage time touchdown pass.
Yeah, the Giants covered the spread on that, and the total went over.
Fuck. I was sitting there. We were talking on Fantasy Alarm. We play Beat the Book every Friday, where we sit there and we like pick games and shit. And everybody went Giants and the under on that. And I was like, the fact that all you guys want to take the Giants and the under now makes me want to take, and this is also, offensive line issues for the Giants. I was like, I kind of want to take the Cowboys in the under, because this all of a sudden now it feels like a 28-10 game because of, everything that we're seeing here. And when he fucking threw that touchdown at the end, that didn't mean anything in the world.
And Maurer missed a field goal too. Prior to that.
Dude, it just, that killed me. That, oh my God. Why would you bring up such a horrible game to me?
No, because it was an illustration of what you were referring to. Perfect example.
A horrible illustration.
Okay.
No more arts and crafts for you. No more drawing. All right. Check out Adam's article over at pickswise.com under the NBA group. You want to check out his props that he's going to have over there. There's not really a whole lot of MLB stuff to sit and go. So let's just let's go back to the NFL. Let's go and talk. Let's pick the games. Let's pick the spreads and have some fun. All right, Adam, let's start off with a little Thursday night football. Bills Patriots. Bills are a 3.5 road favorite in this game. Does Bill Belichick have his guys doing good here? Where you got this one?
Yeah, this line's moving too in the favor of the Patriots. Because it was 5.5, 4.5. So now it's 3.5. Really tough to figure out this Buffalo team. I think they're good, but they're not playing like a top team right now. Josh Allen has been struggling. He's throwing interceptions. I think the elbow is an issue for him. Divisional game. I thought Mac Jones played really well on Thanksgiving.
I thought he played fantastic on Thanksgiving.
He made some phenomenal throws in that game.
But do you see, he made great throws, but was that more like an indictment on how bad the Minnesota secondary really was?
Yeah, but he still put the ball in some good spot. So I think it's a combination, but I thought that was the best game he's played in a while. We know Damian Harris is out, so a lot of Ramondre Stevenson, which is great if you have him in fantasy. The Bills defense hasn't been great either. And they have some injuries. They do have Tre'Davious White back, but Von Miller's out. I think that's a pretty big loss. Man, I just hate taking the Patriots here because I could see the Bills just kind of exploding at any point, but they struggled to beat Detroit. I think I'm going to lean New England, but I don't feel great.
Going to lean New England with the points. I mean, that hook, there's that hook staring at you, isn't it? I mean, I feel like I have to lean towards the Patriots in this one as well. Obviously, a lot of what you just said, even though I do like the fact that the Bills secondary is healthy now, Poyer's back, Tre'Davious White is back. I think it's more about Bills scheming against them, and I think that when you have an offense that is so pass heavy, I mean, I'd love to see Buffalo turn around and be like, "Ooh, we're gonna run it a little bit more." But I think that, I think if Belichick has like the spy on Allen and he brackets Stephon Diggs, I mean, go ahead, try and beat me with the uber inconsistent Gabe Davis. It pains me, but I think that, I kind of look at this game, and as funny as it seems, I'm leaning on the under as well, because I do think that the New England defense tries to do their best to kind of clamp down, and I just don't know if their offense is really that good enough. So I think they keep it close. I think it stays within that field goal. Yeah. Jets Vikings, next game there. It's the first Sunday game. Mike White. You know what? I'm just going to take the Vikings at home, and I'm going to throw the points. I can't buy into Mike White. I get that the Jets are looking better. I can't. Excuse me. I can't buy into it. I think that the Jets right now, they got a nice win against Chicago last week. They played well. Mike White played well. He was inspiring to his teammates. But I mean, I think that, we also kind of forget that it was this crazy torrential downpour. And if you've ever, I think it was Jen Piacenti and we interviewed Brian Urlacher. And Urlacher said it. Urlacher was like, he's like, when it comes to lousy weather games, the advantage always goes to the offense, because the offense knows which way they're running. They know which way they're blocking. They know who they're following. The defense is the one that has to kind of make those pivots at the last second. And so I feel like the Jets looked a lot better than they actually were. I don't like Minnesota's secondary, but I'm not doing it, Adam. I'm not falling for the banana in the tailpipe. I'm taking the Vikings.
I want to take the Jets. I might by the end of the week. I lean the Vikings right now, though, because, again, different scenario on the road. And we've seen the inconsistency, and it was the Bears defense. But I think this Jets defense is really good and could cause problems for Minnesota. So I lean Minnesota now, but I might change my mind later in the week.
Okay. All right. We'll find out. Hit up Adam on Twitter at Adam Ronis and ask him if he's changed his mind and he's pivoting to the Jets. Battle of the NFC East, two teams you are very familiar with. The New York Football Giants, home dogs by 2.5 points against the Washington Commanders, who, let's face it, Commanders are playing some good ball right now.
They are, but I like the Giants here. As home dogs, divisional game, I'm going to take them. I know they've had some injuries. They might get some players back, but I can't take Washington as a road favorite in this game. They've been, people act like Taylor Heineke's like this Pro Bowl quarterback. He really hasn't done much. They've kind of he's managed the game. It's their defense that has played really well. Maybe they get Chase Young back, but this looks like a ugly game with not much offense. We've seen this home underdogs, especially in division. You want to go that way. So I thought the Giants actually hung in there against Dallas. They came out early. They were passing instead of running. But I'm going to take the Giants as home dogs here. I think they win this game.
Really? Really? Very interesting. I'm going to take Washington here, and it has nothing to do with them being like Heineke being strong or good or anything like that. I think there's definitely a problem with the Giants personnel wise. Just like I think Brian Daboll is a fantastic coach, but one of the things they came out throwing. They should have gone back to running the next series. They needed to go back to the run because that's how you beat Dallas, and they decided that they were going to stick with the pass too much. Now, it's tough to run on Washington. This is a team that, even if they don't get Chase Young back, they do a good job against the run. And, I feel like the Giants just don't fucking have anything except for Saquon Barkley.
But it's been that way the entire year, and they've won 7 games.
No. They definitely have, and their defense has kind of kept them in it because the defense has kept a lot of these games super close. I don't know, man. I can't.
I mean, the Commanders barely struggled to beat Atlanta last week.
I think Atlanta gets a bum rap at times.
I think they suck.
I don't think their offense is any good. I think their defense is okay.
If they were in a different division, they wouldn't have the record they have.
That division's atrocious.
Yeah, and unfortunately, someone has to win it.
So we're split on Washington and the Giants. No big
Washington
deal.
plays a lot of close games. They beat the Bears by 5, Packers by 2, Colts by 1. They lost to the Vikings by 3. The Eagles game, obviously, the final score is misleading because they scored on the final play of the game. But that was a tight game. Okay, they beat the Texans by 13 on the road. Great, everyone does. And they won by 6 last week in a game where Atlanta had the ball at the 1-yard line and fucked it up, and then gave them another penalty when they were punting to end the game. So they've caught some breaks along the way. Again, this is a tight game. To me, Giants is home dogs, divisional game. I think this is a spot where they win.
I understand. You know what, Adam?
And I hate the Giants.
It's okay for us to be on opposite sides of the game. It's okay. It's all right. Let's move on. Tennessee, Philadelphia. Here we go. Eagles are a 5.5-point favorite over Tennessee. Listen, Ndamukong Suh, Linval Joseph added to the mix. I just think that it's more than just being, not having the big men right in the middle on that defensive line. I think it's very tough for me to bet against to not take the points with Tennessee with the way they do run the ball. I mean, listen, the Eagles pass defense, rock solid. The Eagles defense overall, rock solid. But again, this is if you can't stop the run consistently, and we haven't seen them stop it consistently, then I got to go with, getting this many points here. Tennessee. So I'm taking the Titans and the points on the road.
I am too. The Eagles just have not been that same dominant team lately. The Packers hung around in that game as well. They lost to Washington. They struggled against the Colts. The defense has not been as dominant lately, even with the additions. So they have been susceptible against the run. So we know Derrick Henry is going to get fed, and Vrabel as a underdog is just ridiculous. As an underdog of 3 points or more, he's 21-7 against the spread. So it's ridiculous. So I'm going to take the Titans too. They should keep this game close at least. Possibly could win. I hope they win, but I'm going to take the Titans too with the points.
All right. I like it. Now let's go to the game of the week. The Denver Broncos traveling to Baltimore. The Ravens are a home favorite by 8.5. I actually wrote this one up for picks wise. Do you want me to say what I wrote up first, or do you want to go first for this game?
Go ahead. Read it.
All right. So I said I'm taking the Ravens. Okay. Assuming that Lamar Jackson plays, got to go with the assumption that Lamar Jackson plays. I'm still taking the Ravens, and I'm still laying the points. And I know that it's not a great feeling because, again, my normal tendency is, wow, everybody's 100% on the Broncos. The Broncos absolutely fucking suck. They can't put anything together. It's crap, whatever. And the Ravens, needing that revenge game now, not, revenge, but to like avenge last week's heartbreaking loss and stupid loss to the Jacksonville Jaguars, which cost Howard a ton of money as well. So, if the Ravens are so hell-bent at coming back and the Broncos are so atrocious, well, then, everybody else is going to take the Ravens, which makes me want to take the Broncos, but I'm not going to, because Broncos now, they've given up. Their defense is starting to soften. They're obviously upset about what's going on. We saw the whole Mike Purcell, Russell Wilson thing that took place on the sidelines. The last two games, the Denver Broncos, who have only allowed 17.4 points per game on the season, have given up more than 20 points in each of the last two games. I think the luck is running out on their defense. I think the Ravens do smash this spot, and I feel like this is a game. This is a game to me. I love the fact that it went up to 38.5 because I haven't bet it yet, but I wanted to. I want to take the Ravens, lay in the points, and I want that under. This has like 31-7 written all over it.
Denver has gone under in every game this year except one.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, they're terrible. Yeah, I can't take Denver right now. I know it's tough to lay points with the Ravens because their offense is really struggling right now. It just has not been good. But their defense is still good, even though they weren't great against Jacksonville. I just don't see how Denver puts up points here. It's every week. It's the same story. They don't get better. They get worse. So I'm going to take the Ravens laying the points.
All right, look at that. I kind of worried that we were going to not be in lockstep about that. You scared me last week when you were like, yeah, I'll take the when I said I was taking the Panthers and I had written it up.
I like the Panthers, I said.
Did you? I thought you took the Broncos.
No, I do. I said, how can I take the Broncos as a road dog? I can't do it.
Okay. I was wrong. Okay.
I mean, a road favorite. My bad. I'm like, I can't take the Broncos as a road favorite. Over
Bronco as any kind of favorite.
Yeah, even against the Panthers. Fuck that.
Road, it doesn't matter. All right. So there we go. We're both taking the Ravens, laying the points. Cleveland, 7-point road favorite over the Houston Texans. It is the return of Deshaun Watson. It is a revenge game for Deshaun Watson. It's a revenge game for, I don't know, the people in the front office of the Houston organization. This one here, what's your lean?
Texans with the points, man. This is their Super Bowl, basically. I know they've been terrible, but I think they'll be motivated in this game. And it's not like they have to tank for a pick. I mean, they're pretty much getting the one, even if they lose this game. They're 1-9-1, and then you have teams at 3-9, 3-8. So they're not going to lose their number one spot here. And players don't think like that anyway. Looking at the rest of their schedule, at Dallas, home to the Chiefs, at Tennessee, home to Jacksonville, at the Colts. Maybe they beat Jacksonville, the Colts. I doubt it. But I think they can keep this game close. The Browns have been a disappointment. We're going to lay 7 with the Browns. Yeah, they got a good win against Tampa. That was more the aptitude of Tampa. I was talking about how Tampa had multiple opportunities to put that game away, and they didn't. I sensed it coming as I was following. I was like, Tampa's going to blow this because they had so many drives to put it away, and they couldn't move the football, couldn't convert. The Browns got embarrassed by the Bills, embarrassed by the Dolphins. I mean, the one win that they've had lately by more than 7 was home against the Bengals. For some reason, they have the Bengals number. So I can't lay 7 with Cleveland. As bad as Houston is, I get it. I think they're going to be fired up for this game. So I'm going to take the points.
I mean, it's a good point about them being fired up for this, for having nothing. Like, it's kind of funny, man. I talked about Dameon Pierce and just wondering, like, do you still use Dameon Pierce after what we've seen? And you look at the way you beat the Browns is to just run it up the gut, neutralize the pass rush, neutralize the edge rushers, run it up the gut. Simple as that. And, just teams they don't always do it. And, for whatever reason, but And it's very difficult to take the Texans here, but I'll agree with you on that, and I'll take them and get 7 points on that one. At least just let them keep it close. Lovey, come on, baby. Bubby, please, just keep it close. That's all we want. I don't give a fuck if the Browns win the game. They can win the game all I care. I don't care. They're a minus 320 favorite on the money line. Here you go. The game everybody in DFS is going to stack at them. It's the Jacksonville Jaguars. +1, they're a road dog against the Detroit Lions. And I got to tell you, man, I have absolutely no clue who wins this game. I have zero clue who wins this game. I know what I want to see. I know what I'd like to see. If I'm going to make a pick, I will just take the Jags and the points and just hope for the best because of what I've seen out of Trevor Lawrence recently. It has nothing to do with last week's game because I just, I think Detroit is a rock solid team, and at home, I have a hard time seeing them lose this game, but I feel like this game could turn into a bit of a shootout. It's got a 51.5 point over under. I feel like this, if it's going to be Lawrence versus Goff, then I want Lawrence. So give me the Jags plus the point.
I will take Detroit -1, but I agree with you. It's a toss-up. I don't feel strongly. I can't sit here and be like, oh, you're crazy. I do think it's a toss-up, but I think Detroit's playing pretty good football. They have the extended rest playing on Thanksgiving. Jacksonville's getting all the buzz after that win against Baltimore, the signature game for Trevor Lawrence, doing a lot of good things down the stretch, although he did almost lose a fumble on that drive. But, they were down in that game. And most of it. So it feels like people are just, and it's also an emotional win that they're coming off. How do they respond? This is a team that's not used to winning. So I'm going to take Detroit here. And they actually opened as dogs too, Detroit.
Did they? Well,
yeah, it was +1.5 to open.
Okay. All right. Little line flippy there. All right, so we're on opposite sides of this one too. But yeah, that's a toss up. Steelers at the Falcons.
Steelers. I did it
no
last
analysis
week for
necessary.
Steelers Colts. I was like Steelers. I think you were like them too. So
yep, yeah, I did as well.
Yeah, I mean, what's the line now?
Falcons are favored by a point.
Oh yeah, give me the Steelers as dogs. I know it's a point, but TJ Watt's back. The defense is better. Falcons don't get any pressure on the quarterback, so could see a decent game for Pickett, who did miss some throws, but he's got Pickens, Deontay, Freiermuth. I'm taking Pittsburgh.
Taking Pittsburgh against them. Also, Pittsburgh's defense, they handle the run very well, and fucking Arthur Smith needs to get all of his running backs touches, and he needs to just sit there and run the ball excessively and not let his guys throw. And listen, coverage wise also, I mean, there's not enough for the Falcons outside of Drake London now that Pitts is on the shelf. Because nobody believes in Olamide Zaccheaus. So I am not worried about that one there. I'm taking the Steelers plus the point as well. Green Bay Packers, Chicago Bears, battle of the NFC North. Kind of the battle of the bottom feeders. Aaron Rodgers says he's going to play. Says that he got some good news on his test results and everything's all hunky dory. It sounds like the Bears are going to play Justin Fields this week. Does that make the difference for you? If they announce, because they haven't announced it yet, does this go down to 3.5? If Fields is back, does it go to 2.5 if Fields is back?
Maybe a point. I mean, I'd be surprised if Fields plays. They have a bye next week. You have nothing to play for. This guy has any type of soreness or injury. Why would you risk him knowing that he runs a lot and is more susceptible? So, yeah, I think this is a game you kind of wait on to see. If Fields is out, I'll take Green Bay. We know Rodgers owns the Bears. And there's not even a lock that Simeon plays either because he was dealing with the oblique. They obviously shot him up before the game and he played, so it could be Peterman. So I think you kind of have to wait on this. But right now, if I lean Green Bay.
If Fields plays, do you stay on Green Bay?
Nah, I'd probably take the points with Chicago.
I agree. There you go. I agree with that. Exactly what you just said. If Fields plays, I'll take the points with Chicago. If Fields is out, give me Green Bay. I'll lay that. That's going to be a fun one. For those of you out there who play DFS, well, Aaron Jones versus David Montgomery, both running backs in very, very nice spots, I think. Very, very nice spots this week. Moving to the afternoon game, and this is a big one. This is like a nice little. I don't know, man. I feel like this is a marquee matchup. Miami against San Francisco. In San Francisco, you've got Mike McDaniel coming back to face Kyle Shanahan for the very first time. He's bringing Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson with him. So you've got like a little bit of a reunion going on here. I am for me. Listen, I Shanahan is definitely the genius over Mike McDaniel. Maybe I love that weaponry that they've got. 4 points. I want the 4 points. I'm taking Miami. I'm backing McDaniel. I'm taking the points on this one. Jimmy G's got a sore knee. They're back. I saw a report today, Adam, that said that Tevin Coleman could be playing a very important role in this game. And if we're putting eggs into the Tevin Coleman basket now, I'm out. Give me Miami.
Yeah, I think you have issues on Miami side too. Teron Armstead looks like he's going to be out. Does Austin Jackson play? So I'm looking forward to this game. I want to take Miami, but I'm probably going to lean Miami with the points. But to me, this is a true litmus test of Miami because everyone's praising them now. They're 8-3. They played great. They have not been up against the defense like this. Okay. They put up 30 against the Texans, 39 against the Browns, 35 against the Bears, 31 against the Lions, only 16 against Pittsburgh, 16 against Minnesota. You're going to tell me, they beat the Bills. They scored 21 in that game. They didn't have the ball. They had the great comeback against the Ravens in week 2. But they have not faced a defense like San Francisco in a long time. Even the Jets game, and I don't think Tua played that game, right? They lost 40-17. But yeah, Tua did not play. Yeah, it was a Skylar Thompson-Bridgewater game. But Tua hasn't faced a defense like this. I don't know if you've heard this stat. San Francisco has not allowed a point in the second half 4 straight games.
Good adjustments. Good adjustments.
And with Bosa out there, so we are going to find out how good Miami is. These next 3 weeks, this is their schedule. At San Fran, at the Chargers, at the Bills. We're going to find out about Miami the next 3 weeks, and specifically this week. So I think they're good, but I still need to see them do it against a defense like San Francisco. And with Armstead out, I think that's a problem. Now, San Francisco, obviously, as you mentioned, issues on their side. McCaffrey dealing with this knee issue. We know Elijah Mitchell's out. I mean, are we really looking at Tevin Coleman, Jordan Mason? Says Davis Price become a factor. I think they used Mason this past week because special teams. Debo's banged up with a couple of injuries. So I'll take the 4 right now, but I'm kind of torn on this game. But I'm really looking forward to this because I think we're going to find out a lot about Miami this week. Because if they don't do anything on this defense, I don't see how you can. It's one game, but I'm going to be like, I don't know if they're going to do anything in the postseason because they've been putting up points on all these shitty defenses. They're going to get tested this week.
They're definitely going to get tested this week. No doubt. No doubt. Looking forward to it, man. I'm really looking forward to that one. Seattle against the Rams. Seattle's a 7.5 point favorite on the road. I hate the hook on this one, but I don't know how you back the Rams considering they are packing it in. Like, they're done.
I don't see. I know the Seahawks were kind of definitely run on by Josh Jacobs last week.
Oh, yeah, don't even Cam Akers me here.
No, I'm not. I'm not backing anyone on the Rams. I mean, look, Aaron Donald's going to be out. Robinson's out for the year. Kupp's out for the year. Stafford's not playing. I mean, it's just like, come on, man. And the Rams are teams above 500, 0-5, and lost by an average of 16.2 points. So I can't back the Rams here. Just can't do it. If they lose by 7, if the Rams lose by 7, whatever. But I can't back the Rams.
I agree. I won't do it. I hate the hook here. If you can buy off that half point and just bring it down to 7 just to play it safe, I'm okay with that. But yeah, I can't back the fucking Rams. They're terrible, so bad. Here you go, the one that everybody wants to invest in here. Well, game number 1, Kansas City Chiefs, Cincinnati Bengals. It is a replay of the AFC Championship game, which the Bengals won 27-24. Chiefs are a road favorite by 1.5. I wrote this one up for picks wise, so I'll let you go first.
Yeah, I lean the Bengals here. They're home. Chase should be back. It looks like Mixon's going to play. It's a pretty big game for them. They have a really tough schedule ahead. They still have a chance to win this division. We saw this game week 17 last year. Burrow had a monster game. Chase had a monster game. So I think Cincinnati can win this game. So I'm going to take the Bengals with the points.
And I am not. I'm taking the Chiefs, and I'm laying that 1.5 that is there. Listen, I get it. Everything that we're seeing with the Bengals right now, they're going to get Joe Mixon back from concussion protocol. Jamar Chase going to be on the field again. Swaggy Joe. Listen, there's like a whole bunch of wonderful stuff going on here with the Cincinnati Bengals. I believe so much in Patrick Mahomes. Like, I'm not to the point where I'm like Chris Collinsworth with, sitting on my knees with my mouth open, hoping he walks past me in the locker room. I'm just saying that I think that Juju Smith-Schuster's back. They've got a good, solid ground game here with Pacheco. Cincinnati's secondary also banged up, having some trouble. They've been giving up, more yards lately in the past, I think 4 or 5 weeks. This is a game where it's just, the 1.5, this is like, who do you think wins this game? And you say you think the Bengals win, and I say that I think the Chiefs win. So I think that's really kind of what it comes down to. What about the over-under in this one? How about that? 53 for you. What do you think?
I want to see what the weather is going to be like.
Yes, weather is definitely a good thing.
Yeah, it could be a win factor. I mean, I would lean towards the over. I mean, I know it's a high number, but I think we're seeing points in this game.
The over is 4-1-1 over the last 6 games for the Bengals. It's 5-1 in Chiefs road games this season.
And 8-1 in the Chiefs' last 9 road games to the over.
8-1. Look at that. Tack on an extra 3 spot in there. So I have the over on this one here. I think that for me, it's Chiefs in the over. For you, it's Bengals in the over.
Yeah.
I can dig it. Chargers, Raiders. Did I write this one up too? I think I fucking wrote this one up too. So, man, I can't. Yeah, I wrote it up. So I'll just, I'll go through it here first. I'll say it. I'm taking the Chargers, and I'm laying the 1.5. First of all, we got to see what's going on with Josh Jacobs. Like, the report is that he tweaked his calf, I guess, on that 86-yard overtime touchdown run that fucked me in the ass on a bet. Because I had the Seahawks laying 3.5. If it comes down to Jacobs. If Jacobs is in, then I kind of, I worry about it. But I still think that the Chargers, it's the firepower, man. It's Herbert, it's Keenan Allen, getting back Mike Williams, or they're supposed to get back Mike Williams. But even if Mike Williams isn't there, you still have Josh Palmer, DeAndre Carter. I think that the Raiders secondary is just such shit that I have to go with the Chargers as the better offense. And then let's not forget what pass catching running backs have done to the Raiders. The pass catching running backs, we go through it, have just absolutely decimated them. So, I hate taking the Chargers as a favorite, mostly when it's at home. In this road game here, I'm going to take them.
I will take them too. Probably regret it on Sunday night, but I will take them. It's always tough with them. It's tough to trust them, but they really need this game. I know the Raiders had a good game last week, but I can't take the Raiders.
Yeah. Okay. Sunday night, your Dallas Cowboys are an 11-point favorite over the Colts. at home. I know you hate this. Like Jonathan Taylor running against Dallas, and you're such a huge favorite at home. This one grinds your gears, doesn't it?
Yeah, I would take the points, man. I mean, I think you kind of have to. Maybe they keep it close. Obviously, Matt Ryan's going to be harassed. I mean, he looked terrible, can't move. But, big underdog here in a primetime spot. The Colts could, just grind it out. So I mean, we saw the Cowboys didn't cover 9.5 against the Giants. So, they probably win this game by 10. Maybe we're looking at a 24-14, 27-17 game. So I would take the points.
And the points, we will have final game of the week, Monday Night Football, New Orleans Saints against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Bucks at home as a 4-point favorite. I'm taking the Bucks.
I'm taking the Saints, bro. The Bucks, they suck.
So do the Saints.
I know that, but the Saints I think they'll be inspired for this national TV game. I mean, Bucks might win by 3. I mean, you got we'll see if Lattimore plays, him and Mike Evans. Hopefully he will, just for that. Then he could sit out the rest of the year. Tampa Bay's been brutal, man. Tristan Wirfs is out.
Yeah.
Winfield is hurt. I mean,
Winfield's back. I saw him back,
but he's been banged up. Yes, I think didn't he leave because of a concussion again? I thought he left the game. I thought he left the game.
Let me look this shit up. Let me look this shit up before I make any freaking statements. Dude, I hate the Saints. God, I hate the Saints.
He's hurt. I don't because there's something about an injury update from
I'm seeing it. Ankle injury.
A concussion.
Suffered an ankle sprain. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So, and he's being evaluated for another concussion.
I hate the Saints, though. I hate the Bucks.
I get it, but I hate the Bucks suck too, man. So, and it's a low total. So, and Brady, he has not done well against the spread in prime time recently.
I have not noticed that.
He has. It's I think with the Bucks, he's 2-10 against the spread in prime time.
Really?
Yeah. So it's 4. I'm taking the Saints again.
All right, I'm taking the Saints too.
Yeah, these both
2-10.
These teams are horrendous, bro. Both teams. I mean, the Bucks, man. I mean, they're probably going to win this division. I'm just worried because I was talking to Corey Parson about this, and he's like, "Yeah, man, I can't wait. Dallas at Tampa first round." I'm like, "Dude, don't do this, man. Tampa's going to have like the shittiest year, be under 500, and then fucking wake up in the playoffs." I'm like,
"Yeah,
I hope not," because we've seen those signs of it. But obviously, as of right now, that division winner is clearly going to be the 4. If Dallas can't win the division and they're 2 games back of Philly, they would need Philly to slip up, and then they have to beat Philly on Christmas Eve. So it's a long shot. Dallas probably is going to be the 5, which means they play Tampa in the first round of the division winner. And man, I could just see that being a disaster. But
I love listening to this unfold because I can't wait to just drop this onto Bowden too.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm hoping not. I mean, Tampa beat Dallas in week 1, but then again, different teams. But you still, as bad as it's been, you're like, it's still Tom Brady in the playoffs and they're home. So I would love for Atlanta to win this division, but that ain't happening.
Dude, what do you think takes the NFC South? 6-10 or 7-9?
Well, you got to add another game. 17.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I meant.
I'd say it's probably
7-10.
Let's see. Look at their schedule. They have the Saints at home, at San Francisco, home to the Bengals, at Arizona, home to Carolina, at Atlanta. They probably win 2 or 3. So I'd say 8. 8-9.
8-9 takes that division. So crappy. Well, all right, folks, there you go. A little week 13 action, a little fantasy football talk, a little NBA prop betting. Again, let's see. Better Sports Network, download the app. Listen to Fensty and Ronis, 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. They have an on-demand. Jim and I have an on-demand at SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio. We're on from 5 to 7. Coming up, I guess this weekend, Adam's got his article on Picks Wise on Friday. My game previews, my 3 games that I wrote up over at Pickswise are up right now. For you DFS people, I've got the playbook coming out on Saturday, as always, and we look forward to crushing it with you guys. All your bets, all your fantasy games, all of your DFS contests as well. Adam, any kind of a parting shot you want to take?
Good luck to all those that need a win this week.
Everybody needs a win, Adam. Don't you read your social media? Bro, yeah. I need a win. I need a win so bad this week. Who do I start?
I definitely need wins in a couple of my leagues or my season's over.
I do as well. We all do. That's the beauty of it all. We all.
No, the 9-3 teams don't.
Yeah, but then they get screwed on seeding and stuff like that, and it's a problem. But that's going to do it for us here on Cash It. As always, we thank